Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Dr. Rizwan here from the Department of Biochemistry, Independent Medical College, Faisalabad. In our last lecture, we have discussed biomedical importance of cancer, along with some biochemical and the genetic changes that occurs in human cancer cell. We have also covered the oncogenes and their tumor suppressor genes, which play a key role in causing the cancer. Today we will discuss some growth factors and their functions and apoptosis. Starting with the growth factors and abnormalities of their receptors and the signaling pathways that play a major role in cancer development. A large variety of the polypeptide growth factors that work on the human tissue and the cells have been identified up till now. Here we focus mostly on their relationship with the cancer. The growth factors can act as an endocrine, paracrine and autocrine manner and affect a wide variety of the cells to produce mitogenic response. The growth factors play an important role in the differentiation of hematopoietic cells. The growth inhibitory factors also exist over here. For example, the transforming factors beta. It is also known as the TGF beta. It exerts inhibitory effect on the growth of certain cells. Thus, the chronic exposure to either increased amount of the growth factors or to decreased amount of the growth inhibitory factors, it can alter the balance of cellular growth. In this slide, here are some polypeptide growth factors like epidermal growth factor EGF. The main function of this epidermal growth factor is to stimulate growth of many epidermal and epithelial cells. And the second is the erythropoietin. It regulates the development of early erythropoietic cells. The next is the fibroblast growth factor. It promotes proliferation of many different cells. Interleukins, it exerts a variety of effects on the cells and the immune systems. The nerve growth factor, it has a trophic effect on certain neurons. The platelet derived growth factor PGDF, it stimulates the growth of mesenchymal and the glial cells. The next is the transforming growth factor alpha, TG alpha. It plays important role similar to epidermal growth factor. Next is the transforming growth factor beta. It exerts both stimulatory and inhibitory effect on the certain cells. Now we will start very important topic, that is the apoptosis. This is basically the programmed cell death. It is generally defined as it is a genetically directed program. When activated, causes cell death. The main proteins which are involved in the apoptosis are the proteolytic enzymes, which are named as the caspases, which normally exist in as inactive form, that is the procaspases. About 15 human caspases are known up till now, although not all are participating in this process. When those involved in the apoptosis, they are activated, mainly 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. They participate in this cascade of events that kill by the cells of digesting proteins. The upstream caspases, for example 2, 8 and 10, at the beginning of the cascade are often known as the initiators, and those which are taking part in the downstream at the end of the pathway, for example 3, 6 and 7, they are called the effectors or executioners. The caspase activating DNase fragment directed by a gel electrophoresis. The microscopic features of apoptosis include: number 1 is the condensation of chromatin, number 2 the changes of the nuclear shape, and number 3 the membrane blebbing. So these are the three conditions which we perceive on the microscopic examination. The dead cells are rapidly disposed of by phagocytic activity, avoiding an inflammatory reaction. The apoptosis, it differs from the necrosis. Necrosis being a pathological form of a cell death that is not genetically programmed. Necrosis occur on an exposure to the external agents such as certain chemical and the extreme heat like burns. The various hydrolytic enzymes like proteases, phospholipases and the nucleases, they are involved in the process of necrosis. The release of cell contents from the dying cells can cause local inflammation, which is unlikely in the apoptosis. The apoptosis is a complex and it is tightly regulated. It includes proteins that act as receptors and the adapters, procaspases and the caspases, and the pro and anti apoptotic factors. There are extrinsic and the intrinsic pathway which are involved in this process, with the mitochondria being important participants in the intrinsic pathway. Regarding the regulation of apoptosis, the activation of p53 genes upregulates the transcription of BAX. It is associated X proteins. In that, it causes the loss of mitochondrial membrane potential, helping initiate the mitochondria apoptotic pathway. On the other hand, BCL2, it inhibits this loss of membrane potential and thus anti-apoptotic in its action. The IAPs, it inhibits the conversion of procaspase 9 to caspase 9, and SMAC can overcome this reaction. This all sequence will be discussed in the next diagram. The mitochondrial pathway, it can be initiated by the exposure to reactive oxygen species and the DNA damage and the other small stimuli. This results in pore formation in the outer mitochondrial membrane through which the cytochrome C escapes into the cytoplasm, and in the cytoplasm this cytochrome C interacts with the APAF1. It is apoptotic protease activating factor, procaspase 9 and ATP to form multi-protein complex which is known as apoptosomes. As a result of this interaction, the procaspase 9 is converted into its active form. In turn, it acts on the procaspase 3 to produce caspase 3. And this caspase 3, which is produced at the end in its activated form, it is responsible for the digestion of proteins and the DNA. This is the schematic representation of this apoptosis mechanism, the apoptosis process. The major molecular events is the extrinsic pathway, which is shown on the left side of the diagram. The death ligands, which includes TNF alpha and FAS. These signals interacts with the specific death receptors. The activated receptors then interacts with the adapter proteins which are present inside the cells, and these adapter proteins and then forms a complex with the procaspase 8 through a series of further 4 steps, the active caspase 3 is formed, which is the major effector or the executioner of the cell damage. The regulation of extrinsic pathway can occur due to the inhibitory effect of this FL flip on the conversion of pro-caspase 8 to caspase 8. So this is the first regulatory step of this flip, which protect the conversion of pro-caspase 8 into caspase 8, and also effect on the inhibitory effect of IAP on pro-caspase 3. So these are the two inhibitors which breaks the which hold the conversion of this caspase 8 into pro-caspase 3, and IAP, it inhibits the conversion of pro-caspase 3 into the active form, that is the caspase 3. This forms a multi-protein complex with APF, that is the apoptotic protease activating factor, and pro-caspase 9, and this complex is known as the apoptosome. On the right side, from the mitochondria, when the cytochrome C, it comes out from the mitochondria, and here the APAF1 and the pro-caspase 9, these both along with the cytochrome C, its complex is known as apoptosome. The IAP, it inhibits both pro-caspase 9 and pro-caspase 3. This IAP, it is being inhibited by the presence of BCL2 within the mitochondria, and this is the initiation of this intrinsic pathway, intrinsic regulation of this cascade. When the pro-caspase 9, it is converted into pro-caspase 9, then it will initiate the pro-caspase 3 into caspase 3, and once the activated caspase 3 it is formed, it will digest the certain proteins and DNA, and the process of this apoptosis, it will takes place. The next is the epigenetic. It is a study of heritable phenotype changes that do not involve alterations in the DNA sequence. The example of the mechanism that produce such changes are the DNA methylation and the histone modification, each of which alters how genes are expressed without altering the underlying DNA sequence. The tumor stimulates angiogenesis, and in this way the metastasis takes place. The growth of the blood vessels supplying the tumor cells can be stimulated by hypoxia and the other factors, and the hypoxia causes the elevated levels of hypoxia inducible factors, which in turn increase the level of vascular endothelial growth factors, which is a major stimulant of angiogenesis. And some 5 types of VEGF have been identified. This is the vascular endothelial growth factors A to vascular endothelial growth factor E, with the most interested focus on VEGF-A. This vascular endothelial growth factors proteins interact with the specific tyrosine kinase receptors on the endothelial and the lymphatic cells, and these receptors via signaling pathway causing the upregulation of the NF-κB pathway, resulting in the proliferation of the endothelial cells and formation of new blood vessels. %85 of the mortality associated with the cancer, it results from the metastasis. And metastasis is a spread of cancer. It is usually via the lymphatics or the blood vessels. The earliest event, it is detachment of the tumor cells from the primary tumor, and the cells can then gain access to the circulation or the lymphatics, and by this process it is termed as intravasation. Once a tumor cell it attaches to the adhesion molecules and the proteinases, it get enter into the circulation. This process is known as the intravasation and migrate through the neighboring extracellular matrix before finding a site to settle. The cancer cells have abnormal complement of proteins on their surface, and these changes may permit the decrease in adhesion and allow the individual cancer cell to detach from the parent cancer cells. The molecules on the surface involved in the cell adhesions are called the adhesion molecules. The decrease in the amount of the cadherin, it is a protein, a molecule which is a major important in the adhesion of many normal cells, may help to account for the decreased adhesiveness of many cancer cells. So this is process of metastasis shown in this diagram. How intravasation takes place, and the cancer cells it detach from its primary tumor and enter into the bloodstream via the cell adhesions molecules, and this molecule it extravasate and migrate to another organ or to the another sites, and it extravasate and binding with the signaling molecules and certain other growth factors and the chemokines. In the very next step, it also combines with the anti-apoptotic proteins, and finally it also attached to the certain other growth factors and the chemokines and metastasized to another organ which is also known as the secondaries of this tumor, and develop the angiogenesis over the settled portion in the next next organ. Here there are the present are the certain angiogenic factors which promote the growth of this cancer or cells into another part of the cells. In this way the metastasis process takes place, and the cancer cells they produce the secondaries to the different organs via circulation or via the lymphatics. An important property of the many cancer cells is that they can release the various proteinases into the extracellular matrix. One of the four major classes of the proteinases like serine, cysteine, aspartate and metalloproteins or the metalloproteinases. In cancer, particular interest has focused on the matrix metalloproteinases, which constitute a very large family of metal dependent, usually the zinc enzymes. A factor that allows increased movement of the cancer cells is the epithelial to mesenchymal transition or EMT. This is a change of the cell morphology and the function from epithelial mesenchymal type, perhaps induced by the growth factors. We will close our this discussion up till now. A very important discussion, very important topic which we have discussed in this discussion is the apoptosis. Now we conclude the steps of apoptosis. It involves generally the program series of events, and these programs they are differ from the necrosis. The entire series of the reactions is a cascade similar to the blood coagulation. It is characterized by the cell shrinking, membrane blebbing, absence of inflammation, and a distinct pattern of degradation of DNA. The many caspases these are involved, some are the initiators and some are the effectors. There are both extrinsic and the intrinsic mitochondrial pathways. FAS and the other receptors are involved in the death receptors, and the cellular stress and the other factors activate the mitochondrial pathway. Release of cytochrome C into the cytoplasm is an important event in this pathway. The apoptosis, it is regulated by the balance between inhibitors and the activators, and the cancer cell have acquired mutations that enables them to evade apoptosis, thus promoting cancer cell proliferation indirectly. I hope you will understand. This is a very important and difficult topic. You must read it from books also. Okay students, Allah Hafiz. In the next chapter we will start the remaining contents of these topics. Allah Hafiz.